Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a subject to you that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is the question of whether or not Christian churches are private property, as in the exact same idea of private property as all other types of private property. Now, maybe you'll understand the question on the surface, and that is there's a public access concern with churches in general, especially Christian churches, where during hours of service it is expected that if a person hasn't been banned from the premises, that anybody would have access. Now, here's the thing: the question arises: what is the definition of private property in this case? I have thought about this, and I think that it's not entirely clear in every case. Like many things, it depends on the context. For example, if somebody's showing up for a purpose that is the purpose of going to church, obviously they are welcome by the Christian doctrine. Most churches, and pretty much every church I've been to. However, in the olden days, say someone was laying siege to a church or a cathedral and trying to, raid their larder or whatever, damage the people, their property. If your intentions are not benign, that is to say, if you are being malicious or you're trying to not participate necessarily in what they're offering, suddenly it becomes very private property, doesn't it? So here's the concern. The concern is that taking things out of context, like what private property means as far as people being welcome or trespassing, it hinges entirely on the consent of the parties involved. That is to say, if you are welcome by the owner, you cannot be trespassing. It becomes trespassing when there's a breach of contract. And what's really interesting, I'm going to wrap up this video. What's really interesting is that every single crime you can imagine boils down to non-consensual damage of some kind or another. I'll let you think about it. I will wait. I defy anyone to describe to me a crime that does not boil down to non-consensual damage of some kind or another. Well, what it means is that you don't need a rule about it necessarily until after there's been damage, at which point the rules become handy as guidance, as clarification to the intention of the original sentiment, the precedent, if you will, whatever happened in the past. But to invoke it before there has been non-consensual damage is a crime on the part of the accuser. This is the opportunity. This is the opportunity to understand that false accusations are as criminal as trespassing. False accusations, false prosecution, false imprisonment are illegal. Not only illegal, they're unscrupulous, unconscionable, and they're just as criminal as any ordinary crime. So we're going to get back to that. I'm going to help everybody get back to that, one way or another, one video at a time. Have a great day, and reach out to whitehotrobot@gmail.com with questions or comments. Thank you.